Epstein documents. You may be seeing this clip on your feed a lot lately. That's Jeffrey Epstein being questioned about a man who is now the President of the United States, Donald Trump. The video and the so-called Epstein files have exploded across the internet. It's a long, complicated story, and we are here to break it down for you. Let's start with the basics. Jeffrey Epstein was a wealthy financier, but behind the luxury homes and high-profile parties was a much darker truth. He ran a network that sexually exploited underage girls, often with the help from powerful friends. In 2008, after an earlier investigation in Florida, Epstein got a secret plea deal. He pled guilty to a minor charge, soliciting a minor for prostitution. He served just 13 months in a custody jail with time off during the day for work. That plea deal let him avoid federal charges and many details were kept sealed. But by 2019, he was arrested again, this time facing federal sex trafficking charges. Before the trial could begin, Epstein was found dead in his jail cell. The official ruling was suicide, but many people don't believe that's the full story. Since then, investigators have uncovered thousands of pages of evidence, witness statements, flight logs, contact books, photos, and more. And this brings us to the so-called Epstein files. Some of those files have already been made public. One major release came in early 2024. 1,400 pages from the Maxwell case naming high-profile individuals were published. Then in February 2025, just weeks after Trump took the office again, the US Department of Justice released what it called the first phase of declassified Epstein files. But they were mostly things people had already seen. Flight logs, redacted phone books, summaries of physical violence. By July, the DOJ said there would be no further releases. That decision has caused massive backlash, especially from Trump's own supporters. So why is Trump at the center of this now? In May, Attorney General Pam Bondi reportedly told President Trump that his name appears in unreleased documents related to Epstein investigation. That does not mean he is accused of a crime, but that does raise questions. Trump and Epstein were known to be friends in the 90s and early 2000s. They went to the same parties. Epstein even attended Trump's wedding to Maria Maples. In a 2002 interview, Trump called Epstein a terrific guy. Epstein once claimed on tape that he was Trump's closest best friend for 10 years.
So how do you know this?
That was supposed to shrink.
He has a sense of humor, he can be funny.
But by the early 2000s, the two had reportedly fallen out. Trump later said he banned Epstein from his Florida club for inappropriate behavior. Still, the connection is hard to ignore. Trump's name in Epstein's infamous black book and logs show he flew on Epstein's jet. So when Trump's supporters, especially from his MAGA base, ask why more hasn't been released, they are not just looking for gossip. They want answers. Many of them have spent years convinced that Epstein's death was a part of a cover-up and that a list of elite abusers is being hidden by the government. They believe there is a client list, a catalog of powerful people involved in Epstein's trafficking network. But the DOJ and FBI say no such list exists. That hasn't stopped the rumors. It didn't help when Attorney General Bondi told Fox News in February that the list was sitting on her desk. Her team later said she was talking about the files in general, not a list of clients. Among those named in documents already released, Prince Andrew, Bill Clinton, Hillary Clinton, Stephen Hawking, Leonardo DiCaprio, Kevin Spacey, George Lucas, Naomi Campbell, even Michael Jackson and Bruce Willis. Being named in these files does not prove guilty. Some were party guests, some contacts, other victims. Many have denied wrongdoing, but their inclusion is why the public and the press keep asking questions. There are still thousands of pages of documents the public hasn't seen, and the US government agencies say they are protecting victims' privacy and trying to avoid releasing illegal material like child pornography. But that hasn't stopped calls for transparency, not just from the critics of Trump administration, but from both sides of the aisle. And so we are left with a case that still casts a long shadow, a case that blends criminal evidence, political pressure, and conspiracy theories. And a president whose supporters helped bring attention to the Epstein story now trying to distance himself from it. For now, the files remains closed, but the questions are far from over. For more explainers like this, subscribe to DawnNews English.